Okay, so I did this once. I'm going to do it again. So the riggers had a problem with they have a lattice control up here that moves the head, which looks really good. Nice deformation there. Actually, I really like the looks of everything about this rig. The only problem is that when they do that, oops, wrong control. Maybe just change up what those controls look like. Is that then if they move, say, the um, character, they get like a weird double transformation. This comes from the lattice base and the control not following along with the controls that are underneath there. So let me see if I can get this back to where it was and fix it like I did a minute ago. So the first thing I do is actually find the all the lattice bases. So in this particular instance, the one that I was looking for is this one, I believe, called Squash 01 lattice. If I grab the, yeah, boop. If I grab this here, I can see, where is, like, somewhere off screen. Oh, there it is. All right, I want to make this more visible. Make that thicker. Okay, cool. So there's the lattice. This is the lattice here. It's called Squash 01 lattice shape. I want to get its base. So what I'm going to do is throw this one here. So since he's changed the name, I'm not really sure what the base is. I have to look into it. I'm sure there's a way that you can get a base from searching through here. But what I can also do is just do it by selecting the node type. So what I'm going to do is go down here to, get rid of that. And it's called base lattice, I believe. Let's see if I get it right this time. Yeah, cool. So I'm going to drop those in. Show shapes. There we go. Cool. So I'm going to assume that this one called Squash 01 is the one that matches. So I could have done like a naming search to see if they're the same, but I didn't want to do that because if it was wrong, I could never find it. So I'll just grab all the bases. So that's the one I want. I'm actually take these two and remove them from the list. Okay, so watch what. Let me make it visible. So it should. Whoops. Come back. Hey, there we go. So watch what happens. Let me grab this and this control here and isolate them. So watch what happens. That's a little weird. So watch what happens when I move this. You'll see that the base is moving out of. What is this, a curve? Okay. The base is not moving with the rig, right? So what's going to happen, if I go to another view here and grab our fun control here, I'm going to take that and deform my lattice as expected, right? Something like that. And then if I go and move this neck control, you see that the base moves, but the lattice doesn't. So what we actually want to do is just have that lattice move with it as well, so they all move in conjunction, or have the base not move and stay with that. But you'll get it'll tear itself away from the geometry. So what I'm going to do is go back in here, and this is just temporary, so I don't have to do a lot of hunting. I'll put this back to 0, and I'm going to go up. All right. So global squash control, global group. Okay, go back one. Let's take a look at what this looks like. So we have something here called Squash 01 Global Control Group. If I move that, you see how it moves the lattice? I'm assuming it's moving some joints and things like that too. It's actually not moving this bottom control. So that's why it's actually creating a deformation. What we want is 0 deformation when we move those controls all together. So what I'm going to do, just for demo purposes, is select that top control, the mid control, and the bottom control of the squashes here. Drop those into my outliner. And if you notice I move them together, I'm going to get, it's moving it, but not as a weird deformation, right? So it's all in one. And if I grab that base, you see, if I move it away, it's going to do the reverse. It's the difference between the lattice base and the lattice that creates the deformation. So if I select these 3 controls and the lattice base itself and move them together, nothing should have happened. Oh, I dropped the base shape. There we go. You can see nothing happens, right? So that's the result that we want to have when we move this control down here. So I don't really know what the grouping of these guys is. It looks like the bottom control does not have a parent group, so let's just throw that on there real quick. Go into the global control group here, top. Maybe I have to just search for that. Weird. There's something here called Squash 01 bot control group that doesn't have anything below it. So maybe that was just a last minute reparenting to see if something could be fixed that way. All right, so now that all three of those guys are down there, if I move this, okay, that does what I want it to do. And I don't know if there's other stuff in here, so I'm a little hesitant about, wait. Oh wait, that is doing what it should do, isn't it? Is the base shape? Oh, the base is underneath that same global control. I'm not sure what that Squash 01. I'm assuming that's Squash head global control. So let's see what happens now if I rotate this. Okay, it's not moving the lattice like it should. So for some reason, these guys are not. So this, what is this doing? This is doing nothing. Okay, so we should be able to just take this, let's say this neck anim control. There may be a control in there that's better than this one, but just for demo purposes, I'm going to grab that one. And I'm going to grab this global control group here and do a parent constraint, just because I don't want to reparent things. You can reparent it using matrix parent, doesn't really matter. And now if I move this, okay, so now that looks like, I think what it should look like. And let's see what happens when I move this. Get a deformation on the head, looks pretty good. Grab that neck control, and you see how it all moves together as it should, right? I don't know if that deformation on the neck there is something that we should be seeing or not. Let's just take a quick look. I'm going to grab the lattice, turn it off, grab the body lattice, turn that off. I don't know what this FFD is. There should just be a skin cluster on there. Let's take a look. Okay, good. Still moves the way it should, so I didn't screw anything up. All right, so really it just came down to these guys moving the lattice itself, weren't moving the entire lattice as it should. I don't know if this Squash global control maybe just needed to be parented, or actually it looks like, sorry, this one here is the one to move the whole lattice together. I'm assuming though, if I do that, I might get some weirdness with the base. Oh no, it's under there too. So yeah, it should all move together, which is cool. So all it just really needed to do is just also be under the same controls that get driven for the top of the head or neck or whatever it is that it's moving. And I was just about to save it when I realized there was one last weirdness thing that's going on here. And for some reason, the lattice shape, or the lattice base, is not following the same thing that the lattice is doing itself. So if I select this here and I we'll zero it first. So I'm going to do again what I've done before, which is select these two items and the control here. Let's isolate that. Ignore this one because it's, wait a minute. Yeah, ignore this. Because it's just a head control that we don't really care about. So it gets a little confusing because the base is here. All right. Anyway, so when I rotate this, you'll notice. Let's see if I can make it do it again. Yeah. For some reason, the base is rotating, but the controls that should be controlling this lattice are not rotating the lattice. So check out the base shape. Base is doing what we want it to do. I wish it would not stop unhiding. Anyway, so there's so if you look at the lattice itself, I don't know why it's not. Oh. So for some reason, those controls are not controlling the rotation of the lattice. Let's take a look here. Let's actually zero this out. And grab a control and rotate it. What? Why is it? Oh, okay. So there's a spline IK on here, and it looks like the spline IK does not have a rotation set up on it to rotate it. So a bunch of different ways to do that. That's a whole nother video. But yeah, so these guys, if we look at the controls of the joints here, show me your axes. Right. So since this isn't rotating that, we're not getting a rotation of the joints, which is not rotating the lattice, which is creating a shearing effect if I rotate that neck control. So see what happens when I rotate the neck control. The lattice base turns, the lattice does not turn. That's not good. So you want to make sure that that also turns. So what I do is look at your spline IK and just do a connection to the curves. Let me see if I can do it without too much work. Okay, so the problem we have is that these rotates aren't rotating the spline, which is then going to rotate the lattice. So we're getting a discrepancy when we rotate the head there. And so what happens is our lattice base shape gets rotated and our lattice does not, creating a deformation. All right, makes sense? Makes sense. Cool. Give me that control. Cool. So what I want to do is just tie in these controls to actually rotate our spline IK there. I don't know why it's forward like that. And I went back to the original file and it seems to be like that. It probably should be centered. I don't know if it really makes a big bit of difference. Maybe, no, it's not a bad deformation. I don't know. Any case, what I'm going to do is give me this is the IK handle here. You can't really see it. But what I want to do is turn on its twist controls. And then I want to make sure that I use these guys, these controls, to do the actual twisting. So I'm going to grab the bot here, grab that. I'm going to say object rotation, start up, start and end. And I'm also going to say, so the top is that one. Okay, so world object 2 is that for top. X, Y, and Z. Let's see what happens when I twist. Okay, so it is twisting, but just not using the right axes to do so. So let's see here. If I look at this, its up vector is Y, and its let me say it's well, its its forward axis is Y, and its side axis is X. So I think if I do something like this, let me look at that lattice again. Okay, good. It hasn't changed, which is all right. That twists it. All right, that twists it. Now, if I twist the whole thing, all right, we're not getting any extra deformation from that lattice, which is what we were looking for. Cool. So the only thing I noticed too is that, and maybe you'll never move this bottom one, but you may want to just, feather off what the lattice is doing. Also, there is a head control, this guy here, right? So maybe instead of having everything under this control here, we should have it under the head control. But that might do, well, let's see what happens. So it's these three guys here. We go up to that global control. That's this one, right? And I'm just going to go through and delete the parent constraint. And instead, I'm going to go straight to the head control. Let's do a parent constraint. Okay, nothing changed. This is what we want. Now, if I move this around, it's doing what it should. Not getting any weird deformation. Nope. Oh, if I reset, wait, this thing has a way to hide your head deform. There it is. Boop, put that back on. Now what I should be able to do is take your squash it over here, maybe grab this one and do something like that. And grab here. And it looks like that is doing what I want to do. And then I'll grab the lower neck control. And it looks like it's still doing it. Just needs some weighting fixes, but yeah, it's still doing what it should do. All right, so I think that should solve the issues. It's literally just making sure that bottom control is in the right place, and then making sure the control group or whatever the squash group is following the correct control, which in this case is probably the head. Maybe the head's driving something, so maybe instead of using the control, use whatever it's driving. So it's all encapsulated into one. Yeah, so I hope that helps.